Hi guys! So this is my Booktube Newbie Tag video. I made an introduction video because I forgot about this newbie tag, so I wanted to thank Adrian and Dalton over at Strip Cover Lit. I'll link them down below. Thank you for commenting and welcoming me to the community and reminding me to do this video. So I did watch a bunch of newbie tags and I saw that some of them had different questions, so I sort of just compiled what I saw. So I left out the makeup questions because I'm not very good at that. So it's about books. First question, why did I start this channel? I talked about that in my intro video. Basically, I'm just really excited to talk about the things that I love, and I don't really have a lot of reader friends to talk to. I'm always lending out my books, hoping and praying that my friends will read them so that I can talk to somebody about them. And I have a list, I have an Excel spreadsheet on my computer of all of my books and like all of them and who's got them too. So I have over 600 books and I know where they all are, but I'm still waiting for some. So I'm really excited to join this community so that I can actually talk with people who actually read, because I need to share this love and this hate. I discovered filming a couple other videos last night that I'll be editing and putting up soon that I didn't think I was going to be a ranter, that I don't really like to talk about negative things and blah blah blah, but oh no, I've got some stuff to rant about. I figured that out. So I am really just excited to become part of this community, to meet and talk with new people about the stuff that I love. So, yay, thanks. What are some fun, unique things that I can bring to YouTube? Or Booktube, I'm also going to be using this sort of for AuthorTube. I'm an aspiring author, so I'm going to be vlogging my struggles as I am writing books and eventually publishing them, and yes, so that's part of what I am bringing to this, the reading and writing aspect of it. I'm going to be talking a lot about things that are really important to me in books, and one of the reasons why I'm really excited to write is to put more representation into media. So I grew up without having somebody that was like me, and I'm going to make a video on this too. I am bisexual, and I struggled with that. I had a few years of figuring it out, not telling anybody, and I had nobody. I've been reading my whole life, and I'm sure there was some representation out there somewhere, but in any of the books, movies, TV shows that I saw, there was nobody like me, and it made me feel very, very alone. And the only representation that I got was, as a 13-year-old girl, the only person that I could relate to. And I just found out recently that a whole bunch of stuff is going bad with this person, but the only role model I had as a 13-year-old girl who was like me was Tila Tequila. And that's not a great role model. So I'm really excited to write and find ways to respectfully add representation of people who, like me, didn't feel represented in any media. That's a big thing that I'm going to be talking a lot about. So I feel like I do have a lot to share, and I'm really excited about it. I also, I'm a healer. I'm an energy healer, hypnotherapist, spiritual counselor. I do a lot of work that is really interesting and really gives me a different perspective on things. So I think that I can bring something a little different to Booktube in that. Like this morning I hypnotized somebody and brought them an age regression back to childhood memories. And so I really love that work. And it also gets me really excited about character development, because I see these patterns that create these problems or behaviors in our lives, and I I literally go into people's minds and figure out what fucked them up and help them work that out. So I feel like I have something a little different to offer with that perspective. So, next question. Oh, what am I most excited about for this new channel? We talked about that a bit. I'm just really excited to talk to you, to talk to people about the stuff that I love. I love all sorts of books, movies, TV shows. I'll be focusing mostly on books here, but I will be branching out a bit. And I'm just super excited to talk about my favorite stuff. You know, as a healer, I've been keeping part of me under wraps and not really geeking out fully, and so I'm just so excited to fully explore this realm with you and actually have people to talk to about the things. So, yay. Okay, why do I love reading? Why do I love reading? I feel like some of these questions are going to overlap. I love reading, and I have loved reading since before kindergarten. I had a very traumatic childhood and dealt with PTSD, major depression, anxiety, and for me, reading was not just an escape, but it was safety. You know, I could go into a book and be in another world and feel supported by friendships and by family and have these amazing powers, you know, have this ability to control the world, you know? And so for me, reading it's a way to shape people. It's a way to save people. That's why I chose that channel name, StoriesSaveUs. I really, really feel that way. I've read so many books that have helped me to heal depression. And I read a lot of books about psychology and self-help, and I might talk about that on this channel, but most of the books that have really helped me, have really saved me, are fiction. And stories are just such a powerful way to connect us, to help us feel like we have control over our lives, to help us learn these lessons, to model ourselves after characters who've gotten through shit just like us. And like, how can I be like that? How can I take this into my life and make it better? So I'm sure there's many other reasons, but I'll keep going with the questions. So, what book or series got me into reading? Like I mentioned, I started reading avidly before kindergarten. I had a wonderful babysitter who taught me how to read and write really young. And the first book that I can actually remember reading by myself before kindergarten was Charlotte's Web. And I have this such a vivid memory of reading it and finishing it and getting to the end and closing the book and climbing down my bunk bed and going out, and I told my mom I never want to stop reading. And I never did. I've always had my nose in a book. I've got that skill of being able to walk out in public, nose in a book. You've got like the peripheral vision, you know, and you stop and look when you're about to cross the street. You don't just plow. But I just knew from that moment, and I haven't reread that since. So I think I might have to go reread Charlotte's Web because it was that first impactful thing. Like I knew it took me to another world. It made me feel things. It took me out of my pain in my childhood and showed me that I could go to all these other worlds. And so, yeah, Charlotte's Web, I need to reread it. Okay, so this next question, what questions would I ask of my favorite booktuber? I'm still going around and finding all these booktubes, so I'm really excited to meet more of you and watch more booktube videos. But questions that I'm actually going to be talking about in one of my next videos, I love to ask this when I meet a real reader, is do you have any books that when you finished them, when you closed it after you finished it, you just felt like the world was different? Have you ever had that feeling where you read this book, you close it, and you look around, and it's like the world has changed. You have changed. Like something has shifted. What is that book for you? Why did it do that? Those are my questions that I love. So I remember one of the first times that really hit me when I read this book. I closed it and I looked up, and it was like I saw everything differently. Love that. Okay, that's my question. What challenges do I think starting a booktube channel will be hardest to overcome? I'm not tech savvy. I'm probably going to say this multiple times. I am learning editing. I am taking some courses online. I am practicing. But, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. So that's going to be my biggest thing. Actually, I think that will be tied in the biggest challenges is that I have this thing and I've been dealing with it, and that staying connected and being on social media has been a hard thing for me to break into, and being a business person in this day and age, I know I've got to get over that. The actual commenting back and forth and staying connected with you guys, that I'm really excited about, but I've also had a history of anxiety and depression, and so like answering phones and messages used to cause a lot of anxiety, and I don't know why I haven't hypnotized myself about it yet. Well, it's on my to-do list, so it's on there, it's on the list, I'm gonna do it. And I am excited to become part of the community, so getting over that, that's gonna be a big challenge for me, is just talking to people. So I'm here, I'm doing it, okay. When did I start reading? I already talked about that with that Charlotte's Web, and before kindergarten is when I really started. I will mention, so before kindergarten, I got that, I read all the time, but I didn't have access to a library card, so, and we didn't have a lot of money. So the amount of books that I was getting was not nearly enough for what I had. When I was at school, in elementary school, I went through that library. I went through it. And, yeah, I just read, I ate everything. Ate it all. So much. Just ate it. And then when I was in 3rd grade, my dad got me the first 3 Harry Potter books. And I've already filmed a couple videos about my favorite books in elementary school and junior high, and then another one for my high school favorite authors, so that you get sort of a, get to see my reading evolution and what I loved with fiction. So I'm going to post those videos later. And then what kind of books do I read? I read so many different types of books. I love sci-fi fantasy. That's what I'm normally like in the mood for. It's like a really great sci-fi or fantasy story. I love classics. The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Oh, I loved that book. It wrecked me. It was, I've read H.P. Lovecraft, I read horror, I read mystery, I read contemporary literature. I don't know. It depends on my mood. I do like to have a big mix. I also read a lot of nonfiction. I read poetry. I read, for my business, I'm always continuing my education. So I read a lot of self-help. I read a lot of psychology, science. I love learning about quantum physics, neurology, all this, I'm an avid learner. So I don't know how much I'll be talking about those types of books on here. So let me know if you guys are interested in having me review some of my favorite, self-help, personal growth type stuff. I'd definitely be down to do that on this channel as well. Let's see, what else do I read? I read all sorts of stuff. I really don't know where to start. I'm going to have to just pick some of my faves, start doing reviews for you guys, and I love getting recommendations, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to being buddies, reading. Oh, yay.